Tantor with a recap of Georgia Tech's Birmingham Bowl loss to Vanderbilt 35-27. Well, I will say that I wish I wouldn't have went. I'm tired, I am wet, I am cold, and I usually have a blast at bowl games, and this one just wasn't appealing whatsoever. And the final score in the game really didn't have anything to do with it. It's Birmingham's close, and that was probably the best thing that can be associated with that. Usually bowl games, it's a reward for a good regular season. This one just didn't seem like a reward. It just seemed like a chore. So this game, yeah, the elephant in the room is the officiating, but quite frankly, it was bad equally for both sides. It was horrible. I thought that Georgia Tech lost the game, number one, because of turnovers. That interception led to 7 points. That fumble led to 7 points. We lost by 8. I think it's as simple as that. The second thing that we lost because of this game was our composure. Looks like we're getting a reputation of losing our composure. Georgia Tech is a very emotional team. I often describe Coach Key as a cheerleader, which is not a bad thing. He's the emotional leader of this team. And as we've seen, if we play a team that is a tier above us, he can make these players rise to the occasion and win, or at least scare the crap out of the team that's better than us. Unfortunately, the flip side is also true. When we play a junk team, like a Bowling Green, we get it handed to us because the kids aren't up to play. But we're very emotional, and when a call goes against us, that's obvious, then we lose our composure. And losing our composure causes us just to get off track and stop playing football, and just start being chippy and wanting to fight. So those two factors is what caused us to lose this game, not the officiating. We've got to deal with officiating. Vanderbilt, they had just as many crap calls against them, and they didn't behave like we did and lose their cool. And there you go. That's the difference in the game. We've got to play better. But for all those Vanderbilt trolls, I mean, probably both of them, I'm not going to say anything good about your team. I don't think your team's any good. And I thought all your players did was run their mouths all game long. So I'd love to run that one back. All right, we'll get with what I liked, what I didn't like. I liked that Coach Key, basically, if a player dressed out, with the exception of the backup quarterbacks and the backup special teamers, like the kicker, long snapper, that sort of stuff, put them out on the field, let them get some playing time. I've always felt that unless you're in a playoff or something like that, a bowl game is a reward for the players for a good, hard season. And get guys in. It's an exhibition game. Get them in, even though the stats now count. Get them in, let them play. Give them some snaps. We saw Cruz out there playing. We saw some backup wide receivers that we haven't saw all season play. We saw a lot of backup defensive backs out there. We don't have a lot of depth with the defensive backs, so I'm really hoping that in the portal we've signed some guys. Offensive line, I think we went through all of our offensive linemen today. And we really need some offensive line help, that's for sure. But what I liked was he played a lot of players. They deserve it. It's been a long, tough season. They've been busting it since the beginning of August, and they deserve to play, and let them experience that. So I like that. Jamal Haynes, wow, he just had another terrific game. He was all world tonight. So I thought he was fantastic. The backup wide receivers, that ball was wet. It was cold. It was windy. It was horrible. It was a horrible afternoon to play football. And I don't remember, and of course, it was too wet to take notes, or even my phone won't even work because it says I got moisture in it. But I don't remember a drop pass. That's amazing with conditions the way they were. So that was terrific. A few missed tackles, but not nearly as many as I would have thought on defense. I thought we put pressure on the opposing quarterback, which I liked. I thought the guys played hard. I thought they did fairly well. They put forth the effort. What I especially liked was after the weather delay, they came back and they played hard. Now, Tantor did not stay. I'll be honest with you. I was pissed. And it was lightning. Rain was coming down. I was soaked to the bone. To hell with this. To hell with Georgia. To hell with Birmingham. I'm getting the hell out of Alabama. So I did. Listened to the game on the radio. I thought it was a good broadcast on the radio, too. I thought those guys did a good job. But the kids came back and they played hard. Afterwards, went back and watched the recording, so I didn't miss any of that stuff. But I thought they played hard afterwards. They got composed. Good coaching. Get your team composed. Come out and compete for the final 7 minutes of the game. I like that. I thought that was fantastic. We made field goals. Our special teams were not debilitating. So special teams looked good for once. We made our field goals. Everything else was good. All right. Defense, I like the effort that we put on defense. I like the pass rush, as I said. And that's about as far on the defense that I can go with that. Because that's where we get into what I don't like. What I don't like about offense was that I didn't think Haynes King played very well today. I thought he was making some poor decisions with the ball. That interception, believe it or not, I didn't think he stared down the tight end on that interception on the seam. That's what that interception was, a backbreaker. That killed us. I thought that, and I could be completely wrong. I'll have to rewatch it on the full 22. But I thought that the little fake to the running back out in the flat was so freaking wide open that it looked like the far side defender that had him in man was behind and was beaten so badly that when Haynes turned back to throw to the tight end on the seam, the player on Vanderbilt that was beaten so badly was standing right in the passing lane. Oops. Never seen a fake to anything work so well that it put that defender that was beaten in the passing lane of where you wanted to throw. If they would have just thrown the little flare out to the running back, the play probably goes for 40 yards. It was crazy. That fumble killed us. That was the stake that finished us off. Defensive, and I didn't think the offensive line blocked well at all. I know we were short some guys. That was obvious, but Vanderbilt they're well coached. They had a good defensive game plan to clog up the middle, but the outsides were wide open, and Jamal Haynes really just killed them to the outside. We should have ran more outside, but every time Haynes King tried to run inside, there was nothing there. So stop. Just stop. They were giving us, they played that deep umbrella, 4 deep. Everything underneath was wide open, and we just need to take advantage of that more. Take what the defense is giving you. All right, what I didn't like on defense, we coach our corners and our slot guys to play inside position trail. And that's not bad, but that's all they can do. So when a team like Vanderbilt that is well coached, they know that. They know the weakest part. So whenever they saw 2-3 out there, they went right after him. And if you have man defense playing inside position trail and your player doesn't turn around and face the ball, you can throw it short, you can throw it outside fade, and every time it's going to be pass interference. Whether it is or not, it doesn't matter. The refs do film studies too. They're out there watching it, and it's going to be PI, defensive PI. That's what it's going to be. They're not going to call push off on offensive wide receiver. They're not going to call that at all. It's going to be 100% defensive PI every time. But unfortunately, our guys, they don't mix it up. They don't play any outside press. They don't play any press man. We've seen previous in the year where we play off zone, and God knows we're horrible at that. So we really need to look at how we're coaching our corners and our man defense, and just need to make some changes for next season with that. And hopefully we'll get some additional players on there. I think we've got the athletes. We just need a little bit better coaching. All right, so we can't avoid the referees. Absolutely horrible, but it was horrible both ways. The calls really were stink. If you weren't in attendance, then the entire Georgia Tech side was chanting, "Ref, you suck." And we did that the entire second half. But it was a horribly officiated game. But again, that's not why we lost. We have to learn how to overcome a bad call, keep our composure. Our head coach can't get an unsportsmanlike penalty on him too. A team can't have 70 yards in penalty yardage in a drive to score on us because we just are not composed. The refs lost control of the game, and when they did that, we were retaliating, and we just lost it, and we can't do that. More composure. We need to be a better, more disciplined team than what we are now. And it looks up. I mean, we had a great season. We went 7-6. I said 7 wins was a great season, so that's fantastic, and I'll take that every time. The next thing, we had a good season in high school recruiting. That's great. Now we need to finish off our portal and fill our deficiencies in the portal. Continue it strong. Good, strong spring practice. Hit that spring portal with any type of small hole that we have in the roster. Fill that with a transfer or two there. And go into the summer practices solid and a solid team. We had a great year. We need to continue that. Congratulations to the Georgia Tech fans. We traveled today. I mean, we had at least 10, 15,000 people in those stands. So we did a great job too. Great team, great year, great fan support. Let's continue it in 2025. We'll talk again after the spring game. Tantor out.